Right. Describe your upcoming season in 6 words.
Um, I would say run fast. It's two. Stay calm and execute. So that's the hope. That's the goal for the season. I'm not really trying to put too much pressure on myself until that.
Wow, that was amazing. That was a first try too.
Oh yeah, of course. It only took one attempt.
Next, like kind of rapid fire question is, if you could race any athlete in history, who would you race?
Um. Oh man, like, are we talking like? Yo, I'm not gonna cap. I would body Michael Phelps in 100. Like, he would get worked so bad. It like, nah. You know what? He's still there. So like, if Michael Phelps wants it, the one, like, it's over. But
So,
he's tall though, low key. Uh,
so you're calling out Michael Phelps?
I'm fully calling out Michael Phelps.
That's amazing. Oh my.
I mean, like, I don't know if it's any athlete in history. Like, I could go, like, honestly. Actually, this is a good answer because I want to race Russell Westbrook. Like, apparently in college he could run a 9.9 Russell Westbrook. Like, I think that could be like interesting just to like see. But
Mm. I think Russell Westbrook would be a bit better because Michael
yeah,
Phelps, he's like tall, but like his ratio's off. He's got a really long torso.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't really want to throw a track athlete in there just because, like, you know sure, I could say Usain Bolt, but that's such a boring answer. Like, I want to race someone who's allegedly fast and see if they are. Like, that'd be Usain Bolt was not allegedly fast. That man could move. Like, so can Westbrook, but can he move for more than a basketball court?
So kind of like DK Metcalf kind of idea, right?
Yeah, I see. One of the big goals of the season is to actually beat his 100 PR. So I've been that's been one of the things I've kind of put in my head.
It's like a 10-3 something.
3.7, 3.6, 3.8, somewhere around there. So
And he's
that's
he
the hope.
yeah. There's been a question going around like I don't know if you know Anton Henry, but he's been asking a lot of like people like what sport they think has more like transfer over to track, whether it's basketball or football. What do you think?
Um, well, I know we have a couple quick people on our football team. Uh, Basketball, I'm not really too sure, but like, the thing is that like, football measures their like speed in kind of a skewed ratio to track. I find because the 40, you could get someone running like, you know 4.2 in the 40 and only run 10.6, 10.8, 10.5 in the 100. So there can be a bit of a skew there. But with basketball, there's nothing really to measure how fast a player is. Like, there's the shuttle run, but that doesn't really do anything. Like, it's just how fast you can stop and go. So
Yeah, a lot of people say football. I don't know. There's something about the plyos in basketball that makes me think basketball players are good at track.
I
Would be
think
good.
they'd have good reactivity, I would think. Um, because the plyometric aspect, that's just speed and power related. So I feel like here's my hot take. I think basketball players would have better top end speed, but football players would have a better start.
I completely agree. Especially with the 40, they all train for the 40, right? That's only the
Yeah.
start. Um, so like here's like a generic question. What do you say your biggest accomplishment in track is? Like you've had a lot and you've been proud about a lot of them I've seen on your Instagram, but what if you had to like pick one, what would you say it is?
Um. Oh man, there's a couple. Like, looking back in high school, I had a lot that were I found like really development and learning races. Like, winning OFSA in 2019. That was probably one of the highlights for my career. That's what really kind of set me on, you know, the development and all that for everything I've been through now. You know, like Legions came after that, but OFSA was more of a surprise to me. Like when I won it, because you know it was OFSA. I didn't really expect any of that, but you know, versus the Legions final, I was going in there like confident, which was you know helpful there. But you know, there's a couple. Like there's been our 4x100 where I scored at conference. Like that was a great race. Like I thought I executed my leg well. And you know, we got third at conference. You know, we're aiming to get better than that this year. But I gotta say, individual race, yeah, I can't take off so away. That was one of my favorite 200 meters of all time.
Interesting. Usually people say they're fastest, but that like is by far not your fastest.
Well,
That's
it was a very at least for me, it was in a very emotional race. Um, so OFSA was in June, so May, April, March. Yeah, so 4 months prior, my dad passed away. He had a stroke in Italy. It was very sudden, and you know, we always talked about me going back and winning OFSA and all that, and you know, when it actually happened, it just meant a lot. Um, I still beat myself up over the 100 because I lost the 100 by 200ths of a second. I folded like an omelet in that race. I'm still mad about it. I'm still salty. Um, Jaden ended up winning it. Good on him because I'm so mad about that. But the 200, it was a very meaningful win. You know, when I look back, that was the happiest I had ever been after winning a race.
awesome. I love to hear that. So last year you were running in the max flies, and you know, like you run on a flat track, and it seems like they're not great for that. Well, would you like to explain what happened there?
Uh, so my teammates call me the Max Fly Warrior because I'm on my third pair of Max Flies right now. I brought them back out for this season, but my first pair, I was running a 300, and they tore at the sides 80 meters in. So that wasn't too fun. My second pair, we were warming up for a relay at USF. So we were in Florida, and I didn't excel, and they popped there. And then after that, I was like, I'm never using them again, right? And then going into this season, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get another pair just to try them. And we're on pair number 3, but I don't use them if I'm training on a bank. Um, I only use them for flies, blocks, or competitions. I also don't use them on my flat track. I run in jaw flies. I'm pretty basic in that sense, I guess.
So now on whenever you're running like a 300, you're only using draw flies. You're not using max flies.
Um, if I was on a bank, I'd use max flies because I trust the bank a lot more. I just feel like with flat tracks, and especially like depending on the bank, like if I was at York, I wouldn't use max flies. I didn't when I was back home training at all, but I just didn't really see a valid reason for me to risk you know popping a pair to where I can't use them in the straightaway races. But if I was on a bank, like if we're in the armory or you know BU, I'd use them in a heartbeat because I'd be able to you know actually control them on the bend. But if not that, I'd rather just use a non-bubbled spike on a flat track. It just feels a little more safe. But the opinion varies. I know I have some teammates who are still using the max flies on the flat track, but I've just kind of been like scared away from it.
Do you what are your thoughts on them? Do you think they bring a like a huge? Because when they first came out, they were like really controversial. Do you think they bring a huge advantage to the person wearing them?
I actually ran my wind legal PR in the 100 in Elite Twos. Uh, so you know, it's not like I can say I can only run fast in max fives or anything like that. But I had like a pretty substantial PB in the 60 where I did use max fives to get my first PB, but honestly, like I I think a big part of it is placebo because if you're lined up with 7 other people and you're the only one without max flies, that could affect the individual, their mindset, and even the people with the max flies. Like people don't realize how mental track is, and I think that with the use of the Max Flies. If you're looking at an Adidas athlete who isn't allowed to use them, that could affect their performance, thinking, oh, I'd run faster if I had these.
Do you think like we see it a bit in like Derek Druin, who wears like the Nike like sleeve over his Adidas shoes. He just doesn't like the way Adidas or Nike shoes feel. Do you think other athletes should be able to do that? Like more people who run like track, he's more in the field. Do you think track athletes should start doing that?
Um, I never knew that was even allowed to happen, but I guess it's more so advertisement. Um, I think that I don't know. Uh, I think the development of like bubble technology in other shoe. Oh no, but Nike has those patented, so I don't think anyone else is allowed to use the bubbles. Uh, well, I guess you could tape over them, but yeah, that's an interesting idea. Looking forward. I think that if you sign to a company, you gotta like their shoes. Like I wouldn't sign to a shoe company that I didn't like, or even beyond shoes, clothing in general. So you know, that's what I think. The athletes who are, if they're dealing with issues on their if they sign to a brand and don't like the spikes, that's in all reality their fault. Like
Yeah, that's true. And it's well, it's some for some of them it's like kind of unfortunate, right? Maybe one year Adidas had like a really good spike, and then like a couple years later, Nike comes out with the technology, and then they're stuck in a contract. Um, yeah, it's a something it'd be interesting to see in track. Earlier you talked about your PBs, right? That you ran like in the 60. Like this year you opened up. I'm pretty sure like not that long ago, like a month ago about, and you ran three PBs in the 60s in the prelim, semis, and finals, and then in the three you PB'd also. Like, what did you like? That doesn't often happen with an opener. What did you do? What did you change in your training? How'd you get ready like that?
lots of mindset preparation. A big thing for me was getting my mind right going into these races. Um, you know, the execution wasn't really like a problem for me because I was calm going in. I knew that I was in shape. My hope for the meet was that I would go out and get a relatively big PR compared to my last season opener because I wanted to send out the message that I'm still here. I've had a bit shaky past 2 seasons, but I found a big thing was like I thought my 684 was very well executed. Uh, I do think there's a lot of room to fix things, and it's only early in the season. We're not aiming to peak in December for any of that. Especially so with the three. Uh, I just ran it. Like I've been really geared towards the 60, and the three was we were just going to see where I was, and it was kind of a surprise me being able to PR by I think it was 4/10. Uh, I definitely thought I could go run a decent three, but I was pretty impressed with the opener. I was very disappointed last year by mine, but I was this year made up for everything with the 300 related stuff. It just I was on the side of the track for 25 minutes after I couldn't move. I was like emotionally distressed after this 300, but the PB was nice, so that makes up for all of it.
you you said you were disappointed even after like the freshman record that you did that you ran.
Um, well, my shoe kind of like knocked out on that. I think I could have executed the race a little better in some aspects. Uh, I know like out of all of my like, I guess longer sprints, like my threes or fours I've run, that's been the race I've finished the strongest. But at the same time, like I would rather finish on empty than with a little bit of energy at the line. Um, and I was also more geared towards 400 related training, and I know I just thought I was gonna open a little bit better that year. But that again was a big mindset change for me. Like I think that all athletes, younger or older, they need to, understand themselves and have self belief. Like if you don't believe in yourself, then nothing's going to be accomplished. Like the big change for me is I have self belief again, and that's such a difference. It helps a ton.
This year, are you trending more towards the like the 60, the 100, like shorter distances and not as long as you were talking about earlier?
That's more so up to my coach. Uh, we're gearing towards me running a fast 60 this this year, so that's one of the bigger things there. But we are talking about potentially me hopping in some 4x4s, maybe at conference starting off because the hope would be that I get to the break the soonest. So, but that's the hope. I'm definitely hoping to run a good 200 this year. I think we're going to beat you too, so I would, really like to get a good two out there.
Whoops, I clicked the wrong button. Um,
Oh my god! Did you like get that? Did you see just the blur go past? Oh, okay.
Okay. The CTFO, you switched from the 200 to the 100. What prompted you to make that decision?
Um, I just kind of wanted to change. I already went through and won the 200 there, and that was nice. But I looked at the 100 and like based on points, I think I would have won the 100 too. And I know there was a lot of injuries and all that going out later in the season, and I just kind of thought like it'd be cool to. I don't think anyone else is really switching events trying to win both, and I just think it'd be pretty cool to be the first person to do that.
Hmm. So you okay? So you're going for the two, one season and the one the next. Okay.
Yeah, and then the four would be a little bold the year after, but we'll I don't know. We'll see where the 400 takes me. I do plan on running some in the summer once I get back, but I need a. I have my PR from 2021 that I need to work down a little bit. You know.
It's not that bad. It's like 47, right? 47 something.
Oh, I wish. I no. I ran
Oh.
48.9. If I ran 47, I'd be stoked.
Okay. Thought it was 47 high. I was a second off. Whoops. Um,
I'll still take it.
in high school, you trained with Miles. What was your relationship with like him? Was he kind of a mentor to you?
Um, yeah, I would say we still keep in contact and talk pretty regularly. Like we were training a lot throughout the break and all that, and it was good to have him around when I was younger, helping me develop and all that. And he was actually a big part in my 200 at OFSA because I going into that final, I did not think I was going to be able to win it, which not a good attitude to have going in by all means. But my teammate Daniel, he ran faster in the prelims, and I was thinking to myself like, man, there's no way I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna fold again, right? And he gave me like a pep talk before when we went in, and then I got off the bend in the lead, and it was like after I got off the bend, I was like, just hold my form and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I remember watching that. I was like, man, this dumb guy, he runs so well. This is the first time I think I ever saw you run, and I was like, this guy runs really well.
I,
Um, yeah, go ahead.
I had a really good prelim. I thought my execution in the prelim on the bend and all that was way, way better. Even breaking it down, my coach thought the same thing. Just the difference was I really worked the straight in comparison. But
Yeah, on Instagram, you post a lot. Oh, like I don't know about anymore, but before you were posting a lot of your lifts, and like everybody seemed high. What's the environment like in the Cornell weight room?
our lifting environment in the weight room, I don't think anywhere else in America would have the same vibe as we do in the weight room. We're we'll be blasting music, listening to our lifts. We'll all be freaking out if someone makes a good lift, and we're all very like supportive of each other. And like I don't think there's any negativity in our weight room like whatsoever. Like when we're maxing out, like we're giving the same energy to everyone, no matter like what their PR they're hitting is. Like you could squat 200 pounds or 500 pounds, and we're all going to react the same if you go out and have a big PR. Which and that's just the team environment here, which is one of the big things. Like I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Is it the same way on the track?
Oh yeah, we have a great atmosphere on the track. Like I'm close with all of our event groups. Um, you know, we like I can't really name someone. No, not even can't really. I can't name someone on the team that I don't like. Like I love everyone on our team. It's great atmosphere. We're all very supportive, and we like to see each other succeed. And you know, a big part of that I think is what's helped me really rebuild myself this year and open so well. It's just the support of my teammates has been, amazing so far.
We see a lot of people from like Ontario, like Ryder, going down to Cornell. And how come a lot of people are going to Cornell from Ontario?
Hey, he was my recruit. I give myself full credit. I was such a good host, but I think it was the same thing on really enjoying the team atmosphere. He actually asked me to shout him out on the interview. So yeah, shout out to Ryder. There you go. But I'm excited to see how he progresses too. Like I think he's been having a great year here so far with development. So
I wouldn't mind having him on. The sprint hurdles are now a thing. I saw you added him. You tagged him on when the events came out. There's no sprint hurdles. I do you know if he's gonna sign up?
um I can't confirm or deny for which event, but I think there's definitely interest. And it would be nice to have more of like a Cornell contingent in the CTFL. But I think definitely going to look into it.
Do you have any big races coming up this season that you're looking forward to?
Um, I think our conference. I'm definitely looking forward to our conference. That's over at Dartmouth this year. Uh, I'm really hoping to fix everything up in comparison to my last indoor conference. It was, little to be desired, but we're also at Virginia Tech in a couple of weeks. We're going to be at the Armory for the Dr. Sanders invite. We're going to be at BU for the Valentine Invitational. All of those, they should be great competitive races, and I'm looking forward to going to all of them.
Oh, okay, I'll see you at the I'll see you at the Valentine. I think I'm there.
Oh,
Awesome.
dude, that track is a cheat code. I'm so excited to go there. I've never run on BU, but I hear it's just upper tier.
I've never been on it either, but I've also heard it's crazy, the fastest indoor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you notice all national qualifiers come from either a Southern track or BU, so it's like, you know, I kind of like to try it out.
It's an interesting setup too. Like girls run the first, I think it is, and then guys run the second.
I think most meets at BU are like that, but I have no idea. I think it's going to be interesting to see, but even our conference is like that to where I think it's like women run first and then men, or men run first then women. But it's like even if we're still there whenever the first event starts, so it
Yeah.
wouldn't be any different at BU. I'd just be there the first day supporting our women's team if the women run first.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, is there anything else you'd like to say?
Um. Oh man. Is there anything else I'd like to say? I don't know. Hey, like I'm just trying to think of like relaxed things to go through. Well, I wish the best to everyone looking to compete in the CTFL and who are interested going forward and looking and experiencing it. I've only had good experiences in the CTFL with everything. Um, if if anyone has any questions regarding it or the experience to it, like feel free to reach out about anything. Um, and yeah, like best of luck to everyone coming back in the CTFL. I'm really looking forward to being in the 100 field this year. Uh, yeah, it should be fun. 10 seconds versus 20. So